Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're building an awesome Gigabyte and AMD gaming PC.
And this video is brought to you by Gigabyte Aorus and AMD. They were nice enough to sponsor this PC build so we can showcase the 5800X and 6800 XT inside this B550 motherboard. Definitely check out AMD because, well, AMD is awesome. And also buy your products from Gigabyte for motherboards, graphics cards, and pretty much all the stuff you're gonna see here that you'll see in this completed build. So yeah, big thanks again to them for sponsoring this video. Let's just not wasting more time and dive into the parts.
So for the CPU, we pretty much have one of the latest and greatest at the moment. So this is the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. 8 cores and 16 threads, more than enough to handle really any game and application you could possibly throw at it. Streaming, editing, rendering, and gaming. Do it all at the same time.
Game.
And with the 5800X, you don't get a stock cooler because, well, it's quite the power-hungry monster. So of course, we gotta use the Gigabyte Aorus WaterForce X240. And check this out, we got a nice LCD display on it, and a lot of other really cool features on this that we'll go over once we actually get building the PC, but awesome cooler, thanks to them for sending it over. And for the motherboard, we're pretty big fans of the Gigabyte Aorus lineup. This is the B550 Aorus Elite, and it is exactly what you need for something like a 5800X. And hey, if you want to go a little bit better in with an X570, Gigabyte also has Aorus X570s. So this here, ladies and gentlemen, is actually the fastest DDR4 we have ever had our hands on. This is the Gigabyte Aorus RGB memory, and it is DDR4 4400 megahertz. And this is actually two kits, so 2x8, 2x8, 32 gigs, and it's going to be 4.6, which will just look absolutely beautiful. And not to mention 4400 megahertz is going to be absolutely insane because I've never even gotten to see it.
Now for the SSD, we have another Gigabyte product. This is the Aorus Gen 4 7000S SSD. It's a 1TB Gen 4 SSD. Yeah, blazing fast, Aorus, looks beautiful. We'll go and open it up real quick because I just want to open it up and see what it looks like. This thing's definitely got a cool heatsink, and it's gonna look really nice inside that B550 motherboard. Now, of course, with a gaming PC, you gotta have a graphics card. This right here, once again, is a Gigabyte Aorus RX 6800 XT, one of the best cards you can get from AMD. We got 16 gigs of VRAM, great for 4K gaming, and yeah, this is the 3-fan design, so it'd be nice and cool and very powerful for pretty much any game you throw at it. And for the power supply, we have this P650G, which is an 80 plus gold power supply, 650 watts. This power supply is 80 plus gold, has some nice cables, which we are not gonna be using actually. We are gonna be using the cables, but we're gonna use some extensions right here, which I went with the Aorus color scheme here. We got some nice orange. Ooh. So it's gonna match this build nicely. And yeah, the case. This is the Montech Air 1000 Premium. We got a bunch of RGB. We got this, well, nice removable glass front so you can see all those RGB fans, and tempered glass all over. It's a very nice case at a pretty decent price point. It is one of the top line cases that Montech has to offer. So yeah, I'm very excited to put this thing together and see how she performs. Alright guys, now that we have this Gigabyte Aorus PC all booted up and ready to go, let's dive into those benchmarks, shall we? Now the games we decided to test in this PC are as follows: Apex Legends, Cyberpunk, Doom Eternal, and Call of Duty Warzone. First up in Apex Legends, we did test all the games at 1440p by the way. On high settings, we ended up getting an average of 200 plus FPS. Apex Legends is a more demanding esports title compared to games like Fortnite, Valorant, CSGO, and the likes, so being able to get 200 plus plus FPS in Apex Legends basically means that in pretty much any esports title at 1440p, you'll get a 240Hz experience, no problem whatsoever on high settings. When running at 1440p, we are allowing that Ryzen 7 5800X to do a little bit of work, but if you're going to play at 4K, which the 6800 XT is definitely capable of doing, that GPU will be doing a lot of the work and pushing most of the frames. And I would imagine in most of the games we test, you'll get a locked 60 FPS on pretty much medium-high settings at 4K. Next up, in Cyberpunk, using the built-in benchmark on high settings, using that built-in benchmark, we end up getting an average of 81 FPS. Speaking of a game that pushes the system to its absolute limits, Cyberpunk is definitely that game, and we actually check the wattage output of this system because I know a lot of you at home are probably wondering how much power does this thing actually draw from the wall when it is, well, running at max load playing a game. And as you can see right here, we got an average of about 470 to 480 watts, giving us plenty of headroom with that good 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. Next up, in Doom Eternal on Ultra Nightmare mode, we ended up getting 100 plus FPS. Maxing out Doom Eternal is no easy task, but AMD hardware does a really good job in a game like Doom, and getting 100 plus FPS will be great for a high refresh rate monitor. I really recommend something like a 1440p 165Hz monitor for something like this. You could go 4K 120 if you really wanted to, but you'll be running lower settings. But overall, this PC I think is a great 1440p and even ultra wide gaming PC. And the last game, of course, we had to test was Call of Duty Warzone on high settings at 1440p. We ended up getting 120 FPS. Overall, this PC is really awesome, featuring all this great Gigabyte Aorus hardware. That liquid cooler kept the 5800X nice and cool. The RAM was able to lock in an XMP profile, no problems whatsoever, with that awesome B550 motherboard. And of course, the 5800X is a great 8-core 16-threaded CPU, making for an all-around awesome build. And you should definitely consider Gigabyte Aorus products and AMD when you're building your next gaming PC by checking the links in the description down below. And yeah, special thanks again to them for sponsoring this video. How about we bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, so we just got done benchmarking this beautiful PC. We got all the RGB software set up, so we got a nice orange color scheme to fit that Gigabyte Aorus look, and obviously gaming was really just not a challenge at all for this. 1440p and even 4K gaming are definitely capable on this, and don't forget live streaming as well.
So if you want to pick up any of the parts from today's video, links in the description down below will be affiliate links and will help us out. Big thanks again to AMD and Gigabyte Aorus for sponsoring this PC build. Definitely check out AMD and Gigabyte products for your next gaming PC. And yeah, it was really cool, and they sent this awesome action figure because, you know, why not? Because
Zach's taking it.
Woo!
He has to have it.
He has to have it.
As always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
And aside from those other two YouTube channels and our twitch.tv/toastybros, which we go live on every single day, we also have every social media you could possibly think of.
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and more. There's a lot of different ones. I can't remember all of them. Discord, we're partnered on Discord. Floatplane, oh God, Floatplane. Check the link in the description down below and join all the social media. See you guys later, goodbye.